Adam Wright is the incoming CEO of Pilot Company, and he joins us this morning. And Adam, welcome.
Well, thank you, Becky. Glad to be here.
All right, so that was some pretty big praise that you got as you step into this new job. This job's pretty different than what you've been doing in the past. You were at Berkshire Hathaway Energy for a long time, started out as an intern there, and worked your way on through just about everything. But Pilot is a different beast. This is a company that's been run by the founder and his son all the way through. So what's it like stepping in, and what are you learning so far?
Well, excited to have the opportunity first and foremost, and it is vastly different. I wanted to give the Haslams a big thank you. They've welcomed me with open arms, open minds, open hearts, and everybody at Pilot has been fantastic. I think for this industry, I like the fact that you can innovate a little bit faster. When you look at the energy industry, it takes a long time. There's a long arc because of the regulatory processes you have to go through to get new innovation in place. We can literally change the pizza crust on our pizza tomorrow if we wanted to. And so it's just a different speed of play from an innovation standpoint. And I love the fact that we get to every single day impact everyday lives. We touch 1.3 million customers a day with a real boots on the ground experience, and that's very exciting to be a part of.
Yeah, it's a huge operation. I mean, people know the Pilot Flying J brands. They see them on the roads, but it's got 750 locations in 44 states and 6 Canadian provinces, more than 790 restaurants, 77,000 truck parking spaces, 5,500 deluxe showers, 6,300 diesel lanes. This is more complex than people might understand walking into it. You're also dealing with natural gas, liquids business. You've got a partnership with GM. You own a fleet of tanker trucks. Yes. What do you really need to get your arms around? What are the big, important moving pieces in this?
Well, all of it for sure. Absolutely. But you're right. There's a lot of sophistication in the truck stop business. That was one of my biggest surprises. You think truck stops, you think, diesel and maybe a Slurpee, but there's a whole ecosystem behind that. And there's a lot of innovation using data, consumer behavior. How do you move energy from a lower cost supply basin to where our customers can fuel their trucks and their cars? But there's a lot to get my arms around. I'm focused on a couple of things to start. One is our guest experience. We need to really improve our facilities to make it a seamless, more efficient operation, more amenities for our drivers and for our guests.
Like what?
Well, we definitely need to make it more appealing. I would start with that. We want to be clean, we want to be fast, we want to be safe. And so we want our truck stops and facilities to represent that. So that if you're driving by yourself on a road trip, maybe with your kids, you pull off, you want to pull off into a well-lit parking lot, and you want to know that it's a safe environment and the amenities are clean. When I think of our truck drivers, they're actually stepping out of their cab to a fueling island, and then they're getting it back into their apartment. So just imagine walking into your home and having diesel maybe on the ground or things not tidy and neat, and you have to get back into the place where you call your second home. And so we just want the facilities to really represent the best of us. So we're focused on the whole guest experience, our team member experience, focused on improving that. I learned that this industry has a very high turnover ratio. Our non-leader store operators, we turn over about 150% of those a year.
What? Wow.
It's very significant. And so we're in the process now of hiring 10,000 for the big summer push. But we want to give them an experience where they know they can have a long career in this industry.
Does that mean more money on all of these counts being invested into the business?
Total value proposition for our team members and our guests always. And so it's not always just more pay for folks. That's clearly a part of it. We want to make sure we're competitive, but it's the whole suite of things.
Like what?
Well, give them an opportunity to develop professionally, making sure they know that they can advance that Pilot. There are a couple of things that people always want to know. 1, do I belong? 2, am I safe? And 3, do I have a future? And I think if we can give our team members that type of experience, they'll want to stick around for a long time.
Do you look at some of these issues as an economic indicator? I think about Warren Buffett always looking at the rail cars and counting those and saying, okay, this is telling me something. What about the truckers themselves? What about what you see with gas prices, with demand? How much can you gauge from that?
Well, freight is down significantly. The ports in L.A. and the East Coast of our country, there's just a lot less to move right now, and so freight is down. We actually, the last stat that I took a look at, we have 1.25 trucks for every truckload of things to move. So there's obviously, not enough things to move. And then
that's such a flip from where we were.
It is.
A year and a half ago when you couldn't find enough truckers to bring all the stuff that was coming in.
Now we have excess. And the freight rates right now are extremely low as well because of that, oversupply in carriers right now. And so it's hard for the smaller fleets in particular to break even. and stay open.
You know, it's weird because we had so many problems with the supply chain that it's hard to gauge how much of this is the consumer actually spending less and needing less things that are out there, and how much of this is the supply chain got a little smoother.
Yeah, well, we're definitely looking at the data to try to figure that out. We're offering further discounts for the summer where people can fuel for us with a discount, giving people a lot more choice when it comes to bundled products to try to make their dollar go a little bit further.
What about EVs? You're working on EV charging stations, too. I mean, it makes sense because you've got so many of these locations, 750 locations.
Yeah. Well, we definitely want to be a catalyst for the transition for electrification in the transportation sector. And we've got a great partnership with GM right now, and that work continues to progress. For the trucking long haul EV, that's going to be a little trickier to figure out because of how much energy that takes.
I mean, how long it takes to charge, too?
Yeah, basically it's taking what a typical house uses in a month and condensing that down to a 1 hour no charge period.
Wow.
And so that takes a ton of infrastructure. A lot has to get built for that to happen. But there are other things we can do. We can work to have carbon offsets and carbon intensity and processes for our carriers to assess where's the best place to fuel with the biodiesel mix and renewable fuels. So there's ways we can do things to help on that piece without it being long haul EVs.